Andre Jacobs. We're finally done with UFC 254, and Khabib Nurmagomedov has successfully defended his UFC lightweight title. However, although the talk would usually be about his successful defense, tonight will be about the fact that the greatest lightweight of all time and arguably one of the greatest fighter of all time has decided to retire from MMA action. That's right, Khabib Nurmagomedov has retired from MMA. The UFC lightweight division can breathe somewhat easier tonight as the destructive Dagestani placed down his gloves inside of the Octagon after really just doing what Khabib does best against Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje came into the fight utilising the leg kicks that he said he would, stuffing a takedown as well. He looked okay in the first round. He didn't look terrible. I've seen plenty of fighters look far worse against Khabib in the first round. But once we saw that first takedown in the first round, man, and he moved into mount so slickly and so smoothly and so easily. Yeah, it looked like there was some problems there. The second round, Khabib really got going, taking him down and just, again, sliding into mount smoothly and wrapping up a lovely triangle choke and finishing from his back. And the angle was weird, the camera angle was weird. It looked like Justin tapped, and I thought he tapped, but the referee hadn't really jumped in, and then clearly he was asleep. It was a beautiful submission. You could hear Justin's corner screaming for him to posture up, but he just couldn't do it as Khabib really just locked in that beautiful triangle choke. It was certainly emotional to watch him inside of the Octagon after the fight. He's certainly the best lightweight I've ever seen. It's arguable that he's the best fighter that's ever competed inside the Octagon. And this performance tonight was a sensational one at that. So, whether or not Khabib will stay retired is a different story. We all know what it's like in the world of MMA, where fighters say, I'm done, and then they're back in a few years. But let's take him at his word, and if that is the case, then I think it's January the 23rd of January, where it's Conor versus Dustin. That looks a little bit more interesting now, right? That looks a lot more interesting now. So, will that fight suddenly go from fun 5-round main event to now a world lightweight title fight? I mean, I'd watch it, and I'd think they're both very good challengers. It just depends on if they're willing to fight at 155 pounds, because they're all talking, well, Conor and Dustin, and I saw John Kavanagh was talking about this fight being 170. Dana White saying it makes 0 sense for it to be 170. Now, these guys have an incentive to go down to 155 pounds, because now there's a belt on the line. In the co-main event, Rob Whittaker put on a stellar performance against Jared Cannonier. There was a lot of talk about Cannonier and his power, the fact that he'd gone from heavyweight to light heavyweight to middleweight. But you can have as much power as you want. When you're as slick as Robert Whittaker, it doesn't really matter, man. I mean, there were some times where Cannonier did have some success. The leg kicks were fantastic, especially early on in the first round, but he seemed to drift away from that, and I'm wondering if that's because Whittaker was just a step ahead. Some of the jabs he hit Cannonier with were kiss the fingers. Cannonier just really didn't have an answer for what Whittaker was displaying inside of the Octagon, and it was a really impressive performance. Do I want to see Israel Adesanya versus Whittaker 2? I mean, if he performs on that level, then yeah. So I really like the other options, like the John Jones fight, maybe even the Jan Blachowicz fight, because he said that, or Izzy's coach Eugene Behrman said that they want to go up to light heavyweight for their next fight. So I'm down to see that fight. But man, Robert Whittaker, Alexander Volkov wins in the second round with a pretty tasty front kick to the stomach, really. But he was in control of the fight throughout, and I'm not sure if it was a case of Walt Harris just looked bad or Volkov made him look bad. I think it's more of the latter, because the big Russian was very much in control of the fight from the very beginning. But I didn't really see much from Harris. But that front kick, man, whoo, right to the belly. That was some really, really impressive stuff, man. Really impressive stuff. It was interesting to see Volkov say that he's willing to fight anyone. He called out Jairzinho Rozenstruik. But to be honest, like, he's like, I'm ready to fight anyone. But why didn't you call out Francis Ngannou? You know that if you face Francis Ngannou, and you beat Francis Ngannou, you will get a title shot. That is a surefire way for you to get a title shot. So why didn't you? It's a question he has to ask. I'm not sure if Jairzinho Rozenstruik it will get him close to one, but you have to go through Francis Ngannou to get the title shot. So you might as well have just gone to that straight away. Magomed Ankalaev and Ion Cutelaba finally settled their rivalry, and that big Dagestani is quite a threat. Ooh, he is quite a threat. He looked brilliant. He that shot that he landed on Ion Cutelaba. Kiss the fingers. Brilliant stuff. But it's the ground and pound. Like, think about the first fight. Let's think about this in terms of story, right? So the first fight is controversial because Cutelaba is playing possum and he's faking as if he's hurt, but he's not really hurt. And then there's this whole controversy, and they try and put the fight back together. There was no controversy this time. No controversy at all. Cutelaba was out cold after Ankalaev landed some crazy accurate ground and pound. Crazy accurate. I don't think he missed a punch. And if he did, it was probably one, because the rest of those strikes landed. I'm not going to give it another kiss to fingers. Only one kiss to fingers per fight breakdown. Well, yeah, per fight breakdown. But, man, that was good. There were a lot of great performances tonight. But Lauren Murphy really just showed veteran class against her opponent, who, to be honest, I don't even know if she was supposed to be in there. She seemed very much out of her depth. I believe her name is Lilia Starkovic. Probably pronouncing that incorrectly, and I do apologise if I am. However, this fight was all about Lauren Murphy. The first round, she was a little bit tentative, a little bit cautious, just trying to figure out her opponent. I'll get to her opponent afterwards. Let's start on the positives. But, she was very cautious in the first round. In the second round, she opened up a little bit more and really showcased her skills. Really good stand-up. Got to the ground. Worked exceptionally well to take the back, sinking that rear naked choke. And, in a division that is starving for contenders, a finish like that and a performance like that really sort of pushes her up the rankings. And, she called for that title fight after Valentina Shevchenko faces Jennifer Maia. And who's there to say no to that? Now to get to the negative parts. Her opponent, Lilia Shakarova, mate, I mean, if you want to get into the UFC and you're taking a fight on short notice, then I understand. I completely understand. However, that was not good. First of all, she was winging her punches like this was 2005 level MMA. No setup, just swinging from the rafters like a really bad version of Takanori Gomi. As DC said, the actual entry into the takedowns that she made, lovely. Can't fault for that. But the lack of control, the lack of actually like finishing, man, that was yeah. I don't know where they found her, but she's gonna have to do a lot more and a lot better in her next performance if she hopes of staying in the UFC, because I was not impressed. A little shout out to some of the prelim fights: the Kenney versus Nathaniel Wood bantamweight brawl had me on tenterhooks. It was so exciting. Woods, even in a loss, first of all, I don't know how that judge gave it 30-27. 29-28 for even man was good with me. 30-27 though? For all 3 rounds? Not so sure about that, but man, these two put on a amazing performance, and a very these two put on an amazing performance, and Wood shouldn't feel disheartened by this at all. He looked great in there, regardless of what that card said. He could have lost 29-28, but he definitely had his moments, as did Kenney. I could see these guys fighting again in the future. They're both young fighters, both very talented. Very excited to see what Kenney does in the future, and also excited to see what Wood does in the future, because the bantamweight division, I'm gonna do a video on this at some point, but I've got a theory that the bantamweight division is probably top 3 most exciting divisions in UFC, and definitely one of the most exciting divisions in MMA in general. There was a lot of talk going into UFC 254 about Miranda Maverick. Clearly she's living an incredible life, whether it's being in college, teaching kids, beating the crap out of women. She does it all, apparently. And the beating the crap out of women part of it is what she did successfully tonight, as she beat Leandra Jojua. Just showcasing some really fantastic stand-up. And that elbow, that... Ooh! Listen guys. I love a good elbow at the top. And the way that split the nose, I'm going to try and add the picture into this video. But god damn, that was beautiful. Oof. Miranda Maverick. She's going to be a problem. She's going to be a problem in a division that is, starving for contenders. And if she continues to push on like this, I'm going to be very, very interested to see what she does at women's flyweight. Lastly, got to give a shout out to Jose Alvarez and Shavkat Rakhmonov, who came away from UFC 254 with submission wins. Alvarez winning via a very slick armbar, and Rakhmonov winning via guillotine. Now, as someone who trains jiu-jitsu, I also come from a coach who loves the guillotine choke. Big up my man Dan Strauss. So when I saw Rakhmonov land that guillotine choke, I knew that shit was tight. It was tight. And the Alvarez armbar, I mean, man, I'm kind of surprised it landed, to be honest, because it was a pretty basic armbar, but he whipped his legs up quickly. I believe he's got 13 or 14 submission wins in his career. So this guy is a very talented grappler, and I believe he's from Spain as well. And Ilia Topuria is also from Spain. So we seem to be seeing a lot of Spanish fighters competing, and it seems like their grappling level is pretty good. So maybe Spain is a new hub for MMA talent. Let me know in the comments what you think about Khabib Nurmagomedov's retirement fight. Are you sad to see him go? What do you think? Do you think he'll be back? What do you think has been his best performance? Let us know in the comments below. And what do you think of UFC 254? If you enjoy our content, please like, subscribe, comment, share. Send us a message on Instagram at The Fight Forum. Send me a message on Twitter at Andre Jacobs MMA. I'm here for all the chat. Take it easy, guys. Bye.